Someone cuts you off in traffic. Obviously a reckless idiot. You cut someone off last week. But that was different. You were late, the lane ended, you didn't see them. Same action. Two completely different explanations. And you apply them in a very predictable direction. Psychologists ran a study in the 60s that's still one of the clearest demonstrations of anything. They gave students essays to read. Some essays argued in favor of a political position, some against it. Then they asked the students to guess what the essay's author actually believed. Here's the crucial part. In one condition, the students were explicitly told the writers had been assigned their position. No choice. A coin flip decided which side you argued. The students knew this. It was stated plainly, and they still concluded that the writers personally believed what they'd written. Think about how strange that is. They had complete information that the position was random, and they couldn't stop rating it as a reflection of character. That's the fundamental attribution error. When explaining other people's behavior, we reach for character and skip the situation. When explaining our own, we do the reverse. Your friend is late because they're disorganized. You're late because of traffic. A colleague snaps because they're difficult. You snap because you barely slept. Someone doesn't reply because they're rude. You don't reply because you saw it at a bad moment and forgot. The asymmetry is the whole thing. And the reason isn't that we're hypocrites, exactly. It's about what information you have access to. When you look at yourself, you see the entire context, the bad night, the deadline, the argument beforehand, the thing you were worried about. Your behavior arrives wrapped in explanation. When you look at someone else, all you get is the behavior. The context is invisible to you. Their bad night, their deadline, their argument, none of it is on display. So your brain does the only thing it can with the available data, it explains the action using the person. Which means this bias isn't really a moral failing. It's a data problem. You're always comparing your full story to someone else's single frame. Deepa had a colleague she decided was lazy. He missed deadlines. He was quiet in meetings. He left exactly on time, every day, while other people stayed. Over about a year she built a fairly complete character sketch, not committed, not serious, coasting. Then she happened to find out he'd been the sole carer for a parent with dementia for the past 18 months. Every single data point stayed exactly the same. The missed deadlines were real. The leaving on time was real. But the sketch collapsed instantly because it had never actually been built from behavior. It had been built from behavior plus a story she'd invented to explain it, and she'd forgotten she was the one who invented the story. What unsettled her most, she said later, was realizing how completely convinced she'd been. It hadn't felt like a guess. It had felt like knowing him. This matters in two directions at once. Outward, it means most of your negative judgments about people are built on missing information, and the missing information is systematically the part that would make them sympathetic. You're not seeing them badly by accident. The design of the situation guarantees you see the behavior and not the reason. Inward, it's worse, because the bias also runs in reverse on yourself. When someone else fails, you assume it's them. When you fail, you know it was circumstances. Fine. But watch what happens when you're being self-critical. A lot of people flip it. They give everyone else the benefit of the situation and judge themselves purely on character. They were busy. I'm just lazy. That's the error applied to yourself with the sign reversed, and it's brutally unfair in a way that feels like honesty. The correction in both directions is the same. Assume there's context you can see, for them and for you. There's also a version of this that operates at a distance, and it's worth naming because it's everywhere. The less you know about someone, the more character-based your explanation becomes. With a close friend, you have years of context. You know about their family, their job, the week they're having. Their behavior arrives pre-explained. With a stranger, you have nothing. So the explanation is built entirely from the action, which means your harshest judgments are, structurally, reserved for the people you know least about. That's exactly backwards from how confident you feel about them. The less information you have, the more certain the conclusion tends to feel, because there's nothing complicated in the way. Here's how to apply this. Step 1. Ask what would make it reasonable. When someone behaves badly, don't ask what's wrong with them. Ask, what situation would make this behavior make sense? You're not excusing it, you're generating the explanations you're structurally blind to. Step 2. Use the traffic test. Would you accept this explanation if you'd done it? If you'd want "I was rushing to the hospital" to be considered for you, extend the same possibility outward. Step 3. Wait for the third instance. One data point is behavior. A pattern across very different situations is closer to character. Most of our harshest conclusions are drawn from one bad day. Step 4. Say the invisible part out loud. If you're the one being judged, context nobody can see doesn't count. "I'm slow this week, my father's ill" takes 4 seconds and prevents a year of someone building the wrong sketch. Step 5. Turn it on yourself deliberately. Next time you call yourself lazy or useless, ask what you'd conclude if a friend described exactly the same week. You'd find the situation immediately. Give yourself the same reading. If this changed how you read someone, there's more where that came from. Subscribe for psychology that changes your life, one simple idea at a time.